All right, so the focus for today's lesson is going to be on executing some trading strategies in your stock market portfolio. Remember, the purpose of this portfolio is really trading. So, this is our short term, daily basis, weekly basis activity. And so, we want to think about, again, all of the activity that's going on in the economy, the good news, the bad news, and how can we profit on that. Now, a couple of these we've discussed already when we're talking about limit orders. So, what I can do is I can start by looking at a company, and I've got my stock app up here. And let's say I want to look at, I already bought Apple, so I'm going to look at Disney. And so I type in the symbol. And again, the price is a little bit different, but it's pretty close. All right. So, I could go about this since I don't currently own Disney stock. I'm looking at a buy transaction. Now, if I execute a market order, it will be, or if I place a market order, it'll be executed at the best available price, which will be pretty close to the price that you see. Now, what I can do is I can set a limit price. When I'm buying stock, I obviously want to buy it at the lowest price possible. So the limit price should be below what the current market price is. So maybe I think I've done some research and it doesn't look like the Disney parks are going to be opening anytime soon. So maybe Disney is ripe for a fall. So what I can do then is I can set a limit order for $130. And I can either say that that order is good till canceled or just by the end of the day, if it does not hit that threshold, then the order will be canceled. So I'm going to put a day order on this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click preview. The quantity, I probably should enter how many shares I would like. So I'm going to do 10 shares. All right, and then I'm going to do preview, and then it'll show me exactly how much my order is going to cost. And so this will cost me around $1,300 plus a 99-cent commission. And so if that stock goes at or below $130, then then the order will be executed. Okay. Now, let's look at some trades that we can make if we already have stocks in our portfolio. And this is really the protection against losses for various reasons. Most of the time, it comes down to the fact that we don't have the time to sit there and watch the markets on a consistent basis because we're not full-time day traders. But maybe you've taken the strategy that I only want to lose, or I don't want to lose any more than a certain amount. So then what you can do is you can place several orders, stop orders, or trailing stop orders where the trade will be executed at or a specific price. So right now I have 10 shares of Apple in my portfolio. And Apple, surprisingly, has actually been down quite a bit over the last couple of days. Now, let's say I don't want to lose any more than whatever the amount that I determine is. And I see right now Apple's hovering around $111. So what I can do is I click sell, and then I can either do a stop order or a stop sell or a limit sell. A stop sell is commonly referred to as a stop loss. So what I'll do then is I will set my stop order to $110. And I will say that that is good till this day. Now, the other thing that I can do, and this is where we pay a little bit more attention to the amount of money that we have committed to each stock, is I could also execute or put in what's called a trailing stop, where if the stock goes below a certain percentage of its current market price or below a certain dollar amount, I want to execute a trade. So it's essentially the same thing. But if we're dealing with percentages, a lot of times we're looking at how much money do you actually want to lose from a percentage standpoint as opposed to a dollar. So I'm going to set a stop order for $110 for all 10 shares. Okay. And then it gives me the preview, and then I'm going to go ahead and submit that order. Now, another thing I could do in my portfolio is I can use a limit sell order to profit as well. So let's say, for example, I want to sell a stock, and I want to take the money and run because I feel like it's going back down. So for my Costco shares here, let's see, today's gain, I've made about $25, but I've lost $33 overall. What I could do, I don't have any good examples because I'm not making any money. Maybe United Airlines. I can set a sell stop or a sell limit, excuse me. And I could say that when United Airlines, it is currently trading at about $36. I want to hit it when it's 38, and I'm going to leave this good till canceled. Let's make it 39. And then I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to hit preview. And then you can see when that stock hits 39, that stock will sell, and then I will take the profits between what I purchased it at and what I bought it at, or what I sold it at. Now, the last thing that we're going to, trading strategy that we're going to talk about is called a short sell. And some of you may be familiar with the term short sell, or maybe you've seen the movie The Big Short. It kind of is counterintuitive to what we traditionally think of when we're trading, and certainly when we are investing. Typically, when we are investing, we are taking a long position, which means we are buying low and selling high. Short selling is just the opposite. We actually open at a sell and then we close with a buy. Now, that might not make sense, but hopefully my explanation will make sense. And then also, I added some videos to the Intro to Stock Trading lesson on Google Classroom. So let's say I'm checking out the news, and I don't know, there's some interesting news about, I don't know, any specific company. These are companies that I follow. Let's maybe say Facebook. I think Facebook might be in trouble for whatever reason. It looks like they're certainly down today. But what I can do is I can sell short these shares. So what happens then is that I actually have to borrow the shares from my broker. In this case, I'm borrowing it from the stock simulator. And then I have those shares to sell at the market. And so I could sell the Facebook shares right now at $267 a share, give or take. And so if I just did one share, then I would sell them, and that is the money that I have. Now, what happens then is either at the end of the day or at the end of the week, then what I do is I buy back the shares that I sold for a lower price for which I paid, and my profit is the difference. Okay? So I'm just going to do an example here. I'm going to say that I want to short 50 shares of Facebook. Right, and we won't get into limits and stops with short selling because it's a little confusing. But I'm going to say that this is good until canceled. Okay, and so what I will do then is my broker will find 50 shares for me to borrow. Typically, it borrows them from their own portfolio, and then I won't actually see any credits in my account because I don't actually own the shares. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this order. So if I go back to my portfolio right now, you'll see I don't have anything in here in relationship to those shorts because I don't technically own those shares. I am borrowing those shares. Now, what we have to be aware of is that borrowing anything, whether we're talking about shares or money, that costs money. That is called buying on margin. So what we will see then is we will see fees associated with shorting a stock. When I'm ready to basically buy back the shares, so if at the end of the day, we'll see what Facebook is doing right now. Facebook. Okay, let's see. So at the end of the day, let's say that Facebook is down to $260. If I feel like they're down however much I feel like I want to make on this, then what I execute is called a short cover. So then I would go back and type in that symbol, Facebook, and then I would go to buy to cover, and then I would buy back my 10 shares. And then I would say that is good till canceled. Now I can't do that right now because my short order has not been executed. There's a little bit of a delay. So those are kind of your basic trading strategies. If you get lost or if you can't find your shares or anything like that, always go back to your portfolio. And then if you click on trade history, it will give you a list of all your activity. So if you're unsure if a transaction actually went through, you can go ahead and click there. Happy trading, and check out some of the other videos I posted on there for some more tips on some trading strategies.